Welcome to this edition of 5 Good Minutes, where our guests this week are some of America's finest vocalists, the singsongers. The singsongers are a group of passerines whose songs have sort of a call-response pattern. Think the Rolling Stones. Hey, you get off of my cloud. You get the idea. Like the chippers and trillers, the singsongers are not difficult to tell apart visually, especially for the males. These are some of our most colorful songbirds. Females are a bit more challenging. Note that the gray catbird and red-eyed vireo are sexually monochromatic, and female American robins are only a bit duller on the breast than the males. Female Baltimore orioles are still orange in color and generally are not hard to identify, but the female rose-breasted grosbeak and scarlet tanager are a bit trickier. The female rose-breasted grosbeak looks like a big sparrow. Note 3 key field marks: the massive ivory-colored bill, the bold white stripe above the eye, and the distinct streaking on the breast. The female scarlet tanager is also an ID challenge. Note the heavy bill, the relatively uniform yellow-green body color, and the darker wings. Okay, let's get down to business. One of the best ways to think about the singsongers is with respect to the pacing of their songs. The individual phrases that are sung by each species is important and often a key ID clue. But the pauses between phrases and songs can be equally important. The red-eyed vireo is the easiest place to start. The red-eyed vireo's mnemonic is, see me? Here I am. I see you. Do you see me? Note that each of these calls and responses is in distinct phrases, separated by pauses of about 1 second. Next, let's look at the Baltimore oriole. I've begun to think that, like snowflakes, no two Baltimore oriole songs are alike. But don't despair, my chickadees. The overall pattern of Baltimore oriole song is consistent in all individuals. First, there are pauses of varying length between each phrase. Some of these might be up to 2 seconds long. Also, the whistles in each phrase are quite distinct and easy to imitate. But note that the number and complexity of whistles in each phrase is quite variable, which in and of itself is an ID clue. Next, let's look at the American robin. The American robin also has distinct phrases, but the pauses in between each phrase are quite short, typically less than 1 second. Thus, it comes close to sounding like continuous song. But note how consistent each of the notes are in the individual phrases. The common mnemonic for the American robin is cheery up, cheerio, cheery up, cheerio. In terms of phrasing, the gray catbird is essentially a continuous singer. There are distinct phrases and there are pauses between each, but the pauses are so short that it sounds more like continuous song. Note that the gray catbird is the least musical of the singsongers with lots of harsh notes and overtones. The pattern of the scarlet tanager is different in that the phrases are very short with essentially no time between them. But the scarlet tanager will then wait approximately 10 seconds to sing again. So the pattern is much different than the 4 species we've discussed so far. The scarlet tanager song has been described as a robin in a hurry with a cold. Past Orno students have suggested that it sounds like an American robin on crack, but I can't actually verify the truthfulness of this statement. Note the thickness of the lines in the sonogram indicating overtones in each note. song pattern of the rose-breasted grosbeak is similar to the scarlet tanager in that there is very little spacing between phrases, but then an approximate 10-second break before it sings again. The rose-breasted grosbeak has arguably the most melodic song of all the singsongers, with all of the notes given in crisp, clear whistles. So let's do a quick review. First, the red-eyed vireo with its distinct phrases and pauses. See me? Here I am. I see you. You see me? Then the Baltimore Oriole with the variation in both spacing between phrases as well as the complexity of the phrases themselves. Next, the American robin with relatively consistent phrases and very short pauses between each phrase. Next, the gray catbird singing its continuous series of short phrases. Again, note the gray catbird is the least melodic of the group. The scarlet tanager sings a short song with buzzy phrases. Hurry, scurry, flurry, blurry. The robin in a hurry with a cold. Then finally, the rose-breasted grosbeak with its longer song and melodic notes with very short pauses between phrases, but longer periods of silence between songs. This table gives a review of the phrasing and quality of each of the 6 singsongers. The species can be identified by listening carefully to the pace of the phrases, the length of pauses between phrases, as well as the overall quality of the notes sung by each species. You might want to hit the pause button here and review these characteristics. That's all for this edition of 5 Good Minutes. Get out in the field and enjoy the singsongers.